Hello guys, this is Revolution. So on this video we are going to be discussing the most powerful forms of Majin Buu from the Buu Saga of Dragon Ball Z. We are going to be comparing and contrasting all forms of Buu seen in the Buu Saga, including Fat Buu, Kid Buu, including fused versions of Majin Buu, Buu Tenks and Buu Han. Now obviously with Dragon Ball Super the anime is canon unto itself, but with Dragon Ball Z, the very continuity that Dragon Ball Super continues, Dragon Ball Z's main platform for canonicity is the manga itself. Obviously, in reference to Dragon Ball Super, you can take Dragon Ball Kai into the equation as well, as Dragon Ball Super possesses clips of Dragon Ball Kai footage, including Gregory, who isn't canon to the Dragon Ball Z manga. There's a bunch of other stuff as well, but that's not truly what this video is about. We're trying to gauge who is the strongest Majin Buu. We'll be focusing mainly on the manga from Dragon Ball Z, and as always guys, I'll be using a vast array of evidence in this video. I'll be using a plethora of manga panels. All these manga panels will be from the Viz Media translations, an official source of translations for Dragon Ball Z manga chapters. This video is not about who is your favourite form of Majin Buu. Be completely objectable. Before we delve further into this discussion, let me know where you think a skinny Buu from Dragon Ball Super, that's basically Mr. Buu, Fat Buu, whatever you want to call him, when he did a few hours training just before the tournament's power, where would he fit alongside the rest of the Majin Buus? Would he be the strongest? Drop your thoughts down in the comment section below. So for comparing and contrasting all the Majin Buus in the Buu Saga, we need a good reference point and an opponent that they all fought somewhat. Best reference point would be Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Super Saiyan 3 Goku fought against Fat Buu, Buu Tenks and even Kid Buu. And there are even reference points in the manga itself, which will be shown in this video, in relation to his power in comparison to, say, Gotenks. But we will start off with the first iteration of Majin Buu that we saw in the Dragon Ball franchise, and that's not to be mistaken with the original first Majin Buu, which we'll once again get to later. The first Buu we saw in this franchise was, of course, Fat Buu, now known in Dragon Ball Super as Mr. Buu. This version of Majin Buu literally one-shotted Dabra, who was comparable to Super Perfect Cell, and even though Super Saiyan 2 Gohan as an adult was literally stated to be weaker than Super Saiyan 2 Gohan from the Cell games, this version of Buu literally dismantled Gohan with relative ease, as well as the Supreme Kai Shin. Regardless, they were his low-end feats. He then took on Majin Vegeta and literally stomped him, even surviving a final explosion despite being blown to bits. However, that does bring into account his hacks abilities. Majin Buu's durability and regeneration puts him even above the likes of Frieza and Cell. In terms of durability, you need to hit this guy with more power than even he has to completely destroy him. You have to completely eradicate every part of Majin Buu to win. Regardless, Majin Vegeta had to do this because it was his only hope against the more powerful Majin Buu. Of course, eventually Majin Buu would come face to face with Goku, who would for the first time demonstrate his Super Saiyan 3 form, and whilst they had a bit of back and forth, Goku left that fight promising an even stronger warrior than he was and disappeared from the battle. Obviously his time on Earth was running out, as at that point he was actually dead. It was also later revealed that Goku's dead body was more capable of holding on to the Super Saiyan 3 transformation, so we must bear that in mind. He did then later reveal against Kid Buu to Vegeta that in Super Saiyan 3 he could have beat and demolished Fat Buu at that point, but he didn't want to because he wanted the kids to have their turn. Ridiculous, I know, but that's literally what he stated. Anyhow, Goku taught the Metamaran fusion to Trunks and Goten, believing that this fusion would make them not only stronger than he was, but capable enough to beat Majin Buu. When first achieving the Metamaran fusion properly, Gotenks went to fight this version of Majin Buu and came back with his ass handed to him, but this was a base Gotenks. When he eventually did it turning Super Saiyan, he had to fight against Super Buu. Super Buu is the result of Evil Buu eating Good Buu in a chocolate form and literally absorbing his power, and like I said, became Super Buu. Anyway, Super Buu was a lot stronger than the Fat Buu who Super Saiyan 3 Goku believed he would beat. This is pretty much confirmed by when Goku and Vegeta were inside of Buuhan, pulling out all the pods that contained Goten, Trunks, Piccolo and Gohan. Goku states that if they leave Buu's body now, whilst he is Super Buu, he was literally in the original Super Buu form, that they stand no chance, and he's talking about him and Vegeta combined. These panels are on your screen right now, I kid you not. This is the very same Goku that would later face off against Kid Buu on the Supreme World of the Kais. He doesn't really have any more fights from there on in, and he doesn't receive any more Zenkai boosts. before his final showdown with Kid Buu. And once again, I'll state this. Goku states that him and Vegeta together could not beat Super Buu. He was terrified of Super Buu. And we all know Goku's not one to turn down a challenge. This version of Super Buu was able to fight somewhat on par with a Super Saiyan Gotenks. Just the original Super Saiyan Gotenks. Once again, Gotenks was a warrior foreshadowed by Goku himself to be even stronger than he was, and this was Super Saiyan Gotenks. This is proven by the fact that when Gotenks turns Super Saiyan 3 later on in the fight, Goku is completely shocked. As you can see on the panel on your screen right now, Goku did not expect Gotenks to be able to use Super Saiyan 3, proving that Goku thought a Super Saiyan Gotenks was as strong, if not stronger, than he was at Super Saiyan 3. Like I said, Super Buu was somewhat relative to Super Saiyan Gotenks. Gotenks was often on the offensive, clowning about to be honest, but he did almost obliterate Super Buu, but Super Buu's regeneration kept him in the fight. You could argue that Super Buu was holding back a little bit, as he was the first one to be able to escape the Room of Spirit and Time, breaking through a dimensional wall. Gotenks, however, couldn't actually do it till he turned Super Saiyan 3. However, when he was fighting Super Buu as a Super Saiyan 3, he was literally mollywopping him, literally turning Super Buu into a volleyball. And just as Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks was about to finish Super Buu off, he defused. So bearing in mind that Super Saiyan Gotenks was giving Super Buu somewhat of a good fight, that means he is stronger than the Super Saiyan 3 Goku who admitted he would be killed by Super Buu even with Vegeta's help. Given that Super Saiyan 3 is 8 times that of the regular Super Saiyan transformation, that will put Gotenks' power at least 8 times greater than Super Saiyan 3 Goku's. I know that's hard for a lot of people to take. A lot of people don't like Gotenks. He was mainly a comedic character. This is the narrative we have been told from the Buu saga. Okay, now we've cleared that out the way. The same Super Buu that Goku admitted that he and Vegeta together could not beat. Upon feeling Ultimate Gohan's power all the way from the Supreme World of the Kais, Super Buu made a plan to absorb Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks and even feigned being asleep so that Gotenks would have enough time to recuperate and use the fusion again. Ultimate Gohan was far stronger than Super Buu. He absolutely murdered him. However, upon absorbing Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, and this iteration of Majin Buu would be known as Buu-Tenks. Now we don't particularly know how strong a Buu absorption is, but like I keep saying, I often go for the low ball, so I think an addition is the low ball here in terms of power increase. So a low ball would be Super Buu plus Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks. I think that's pretty fair. Remember guys, that's a low balled number. He may be stronger, but he is made up of Super Buu, who is stronger than Goku, and he's made up of Gotenks, when in Super Saiyan 3 is at least 8 times stronger than Super Saiyan 3 Goku. In fact, here's a reason it's likely even stronger than what I've said. Ultimate Gohan was even stronger than Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks by Trunks and Goten's admission. Buuhan also acknowledged that Gohan was stronger than Gotenks, yet despite Ultimate Gohan being far too much for Super Buu, he wasn't even comparable to Buu-Tenks. Gohan even got healed by Dende and still got beat up. The ass whooping got so bad that the Elder Kai even gave his life to Goku so Goku could take the Potara earrings to go and fuse. The Elder Kai even stated that Goku and Gohan together did not stand a chance without fusion. Buu-Tenks even claimed to be the strongest version of Buu ever. Once again, we know from earlier with Supreme Kai that the original Buu was Kid Buu. We know that Buu maintains his memory from his previous iterations of Buu because he remembered fighting base Gotenks. And when Vegeta threatened to pull out the good Buu that contained the Kaioshin in his pod from within Super Buu remembered that he would revert back into Kid Buu if they did so. He even warned them so, proving that Buu retains his memories from different states. So therefore he would know how powerful he was as Kid Buu, and he clearly says this is the strongest version of Buu ever. Of course, he hadn't become Buuhan at that point, which is the next iteration of Buu we're going to talk about. We did see one instance of Super Saiyan 3 Goku vs Buu-Tenks when Ultimate Gohan dropped the Potara earring. When Boo-Tenks was attacking Super Saiyan 3 Goku, Boo stated, "You have no chance," and Goku's literally standing there shouting no. He was literally screaming no. He knew he was overpowered. I mean, if he's overpowered by Super Boo alone, he had no chance against Boo-Tenks. I mean, it should go without saying, Boo-Tenks is a lot stronger than Super Boo, and is the strongest Boo we've talked about so far. However, it also goes without saying that Buuhan is even stronger than Boo-Tenks. As mentioned before, it was acknowledged by Trunks and Goten that Ultimate Gohan was even stronger than Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks. It was acknowledged by Super Boo himself, who opted to wait for Ultimate Gohan to arrive before absorbing Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks because he knew Ultimate Gohan was stronger and that the fusion time limit would eventually wear out. And of course, Buuhan even stated that he was stronger than ever before without the time limit that ultimately hampered the Boo-Tenks absorption. Unfortunately for him, he came up against the Potara-fused version of Goku and Vegeta, Vegito. Despite being absolutely dominated by Vegito, Buuhan is the strongest version of Majin Buu we've talked about so far. However, obviously we have not talked about Kid Buu yet, who has been recorded as the most dangerous version of Majin Buu. When Goku and Vegeta were inside Super Boo's body, they pulled out all of Boo's absorptions, including Gohan, Piccolo, Goten and Trunks, as well as the good Boo, who contained the Kaioshin influences. This is why when we saw him revert back to Kid Buu, we saw the buff Boo, who is literally the Southern Supreme Kai of the past. In fact, seeing this buffed version of Boo prompted the Supreme Kai to retell the story of Boo absorbing all the original Supreme Kais when there used to be 5 Supreme Kais back in his day. Goku even notes that at this point that Boo's ki is actually rising. However, he doesn't stay in that form for long. He's had that part of him ripped out and he reverts back into Kid Buu. And the Supreme Kai states that this version of Majin Buu, Kid Buu, is literally the soulless Boo without any influences of any absorptions on him. Therefore, he literally will just do as he pleases without any remorse. Even Super Boo, despite being evil and literally wiping out the human population, still had Fat Boo holding him back somewhat. And this lack of care is what made Kid Buu the most dangerous version of Majin Buu. This theme is repeated many times throughout this arc, and Kid Buu pretty much proves it right off the bat. He literally sends a regular ki blast which would have destroyed the earth, and Vegeta deflects that attack away. However, that just prompts Kid Buu to go for a really big attack, and Goku notes that he cannot deflect this attack. Does this necessarily mean this attack was stronger than Goku? Not necessarily. By saying deflect the attack, he means he wants to divert this attack in another direction. If he does attack this with a Kamehameha, it would literally still destroy the earth, destroying Goku himself, who cannot breathe in space, as well as all of his friends still remaining on the planet. Goku, Vegeta and a few others escape to the Supreme World of the Kais via the Supreme Kai's Kakai. But Buu doesn't just destroy the earth, he nearly destroys himself. We literally see him regenerating later on, a few panels later. This attack nearly wiped himself out, that's how powerful it was. Of course, once Kid Buu regenerated, he literally learnt the Supreme Kai's attack and found his way to the Supreme World of the Kais and faced off against a Super Saiyan 3 Goku. The same Goku who stated he didn't have enough power to compete with Super Buu, Boo-Tenks or Buuhan. So when Goku first started fighting against Kid Buu as a Super Saiyan 3, there was a lot of back and forth. It seemed like a pretty even battle. However, Kid Buu used the Kamehameha against Goku, which Goku literally tanked, and Goku used the Kamehameha back, which literally nearly completely disintegrated Kid Buu. Of course, it wasn't quite enough to overcome Buu's regeneration. This prompts Goku to tell us how Buu never tires and that he himself is starting to drain even in Super Saiyan 3. I mean, we know even still today that Super Saiyan 3 is an extremely draining transformation. Despite the fact Goku is starting to tire, he reveals that he wasn't going quite at full power either, and he needs a minute to build up all his strength. Vegeta, despite being dead already, offers and risks his whole existence by fighting Kid Buu, somebody who knows he's multiple times stronger than him, to give Goku that 1 minute. Whilst they're having this conversation, Goku even notes that Kid Buu is dragging this out because he's having fun. But this again is in reference to the fact that Buu never tires, he regenerates and completely heals and restores all of his ki, whilst with every attack Goku is literally draining. Unfortunately, there's a mistranslated manga page out there that literally refers to this scene exactly, where it states that Kid Buu is playing with them. Some people have taken that to mean Kid Buu was holding back all along, but that is a mistranslated passage. As you can see, the Viz manga version is on your screen right now. There's a big quality difference. Regardless, Goku still states that if he had a minute he could truly get to full power, so that means he wasn't quite fighting at full power either. Unfortunately for Goku, whilst he's trying to charge up, he realises that his mortal body cannot hold on to the Super Saiyan 3 form, and whilst he almost made full power, eventually started to decrease because he had never used this form in his mortal body properly. So we never got to see whether a full power Goku could truly beat Kid Buu, but we never saw the opposite either. We never saw Kid Buu beat a fully powered Super Saiyan 3 Goku. And if you want, you could throw in the fact that a Kamehameha wave literally amps up the user's power by 2.5 times. So you could throw that in there, and maybe Goku could have destroyed Kid Buu that way. Of course, Kid Buu would eventually be destroyed by the Genki Dama. This would play all the power from everyone on Earth, as well as the Z Warriors, as well as some people from the underworld, including King Yema. This doesn't necessarily mean the whole cosmos. For example, we see the King Kai, yet he doesn't offer any energy. Vegeta had the chance to wish for Ultimate Gohan and Gotenks to be brought to the Supreme World of the Kais, yet opted for the Spirit Bomb, as they would have lent their energy to the Spirit Bomb itself, which of course they did. Goku sent this Spirit Bomb in his tired base form towards Kid Buu, and Kid Buu sent a Kamehameha back, which was completely obliterated. However, Kid Buu did catch the Spirit Bomb. Now, in the manga, we did not see Kid Buu push it back like he did in the anime. In the anime, we see him take a few steps forward. That was most likely done for dramatic effect. In the manga, the prime source for Dragon Ball Z, he simply withstood it for a few moments. However, Goku is extremely drained at this point, even in his base form, and Vegeta notes that Goku cannot unleash this Spirit Bomb, the power of the Spirit Bomb, because he himself doesn't have enough power to thrust it at Kid Buu. This points to the fact that despite the fact the Spirit Bomb is an enormous ball of power, it still needs to be thrust with enough power so the enemy cannot thrust it back. Kid Buu merely resisted the Spirit Bomb, he didn't push it back, especially not like Jiren did in the Tournament of Power, where not only did he just catch the Spirit Bomb, he thrust it back and forced Goku to go at full power and still won. However, in this case, you could argue that Kid Buu may be relative to the Spirit Bomb, as he was able to at least resist it momentarily, though I think that's a push to be honest. After all, if Kid Buu truly felt like this Genki Dama wouldn't completely obliterate every cell in his body, he could have just let it hit him and regenerated. He would still have won the fight after. Sure, this Genki Dama was incredibly powerful, most likely even stronger than a fully powered Super Saiyan 3 Goku. How many times was it stronger than Goku? Could you put a number on it? To at least be relevant to a Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, it would have to be 8 times stronger than a fully powered Super Saiyan 3 Goku to be relevant to Ultimate Gohan, who did in fairness lend his power to this Genki Dama. Would it have matched up to Butenks, who was far stronger than even Ultimate Gohan? I don't think so. I don't think there's enough evidence indicating it was so. Let me know your thoughts on that. But I'm going to place Kid Buu below, based on the fact there are multiple statements throughout the manga that state Super Saiyan 3 Goku didn't stand a chance against Super Buu, and he felt like he did have a chance at full power against Kid Buu. I also don't buy into the fact that withstanding a Spirit Bomb momentarily puts you at the Spirit Bomb's power either. And as I said, Vegeta pointed out that was the thrust from Goku that was the reason why it wasn't destroying Kid Buu at that time. You can ignore that if you want, cognitive dissonance is your choice, but maybe you do have a good reason to put Kid Buu above the fused versions of Buu. And if you do, let me know in the comments section. If you enjoy these videos, please do lend me your energy, smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Until next time, Ad Astra.